Sometimes I look at the world and I honestly feel heartbroken because I will never fully understand how we as human beings ended up here, divided, suspicious of each other, separated, judged, and sometimes even hated over something as shallow and temporary as skin color, race, culture, ethnicity, or beliefs. Different backgrounds, different stories, different shades, and I was never taught to judge someone based on the color of their skin. I was raised to look at the soul, the mind, the heart, the internal world, the personality, the way a person treats people when no one is watching, because the body is temporary, but the spirit, the consciousness, the energy we carry, that is what lasts. That is eternal. We are not just humans with souls, we are souls having a human experience. Fragments of awareness passing through life for a short time, learning, hurting, growing, loving, and then ascending. And when you really understand that, racism does not just look wrong, it looks ridiculous. It looks like arguing over paint while ignoring the engine underneath. You don't judge a car's ability to drive based on the color of the paint, you judge it by the quality of the engine. It should be the same with people. You don't judge a car's ability to drive based on the color of the paint. You judge it by the quality of the engine, by what's going on inside, internally. But somehow, with people, we flip that. We look at the paint job, the skin, the shade, the surface, and forget that what actually matters is the engine, the heart, the character, the spirit, the way someone treats other human beings. The paint fades, the body rusts, but the engine, the soul, is what carries the journey. And if we are still choosing teams based on paint color, we are not really seeing each other at all. Now, don't twist my words, but here is something important, and I say this with love. Unity is the goal, yes, but pretending differences do not exist does not heal anything. Racism has not affected everyone equally. History, laws, neighborhoods, housing, schools, jobs, all of that has shaped people's lives differently depending on race. For a lot of people, race is not just an idea. It is something that has shaped daily experiences, safety, opportunity, and identity. So when people talk about race, many are not trying to divide, they are trying to name what still needs to be fixed so that unity can actually be real. Unity without honesty becomes silence, and silence can let injustice keep going. Because racism, prejudice, discrimination, they did not come from nowhere. They shaped entire systems, neighborhoods, opportunities, safety, education, who gets believed, who gets doubted, who gets second chances. For a lot of people, race is not just a label, it shaped their entire experience on this earth. So when people talk about race, many of them are not trying to divide us, they are trying to name the wound so it can finally heal. Unity without honesty becomes silence, and silence lets injustice continue. This is something people often misunderstand about Martin Luther King Jr. He did not ignore hate. He did not pretend racism was not real. He faced it directly with courage, strategy, and love. He called out unfair systems, violence, inequality. Martin Luther King did not ignore hate. He faced it directly, but with love and strategy. Martin Luther King Jr. did not simply ignore the violence and hate. He chose nonviolence deliberately while constantly calling out injustice, unfair laws, police brutality, and inequality. He believed that love and truth together change systems. He dreamed of a world where character mattered more than color, but he also talked openly about racism until the end of his life, because pretending it was not there would not fix it. Both things can be equally true. We are all human, and some humans still are not treated fairly, and that deserves to be named and acknowledged. People deserve to be seen beyond labels. MLK dreamed of a world where character mattered more than color, but he knew we could not reach that dream by pretending everything was fine. Love does not avoid truth. Love tells the truth gently because it wants healing. And I believe healing looks like this: not reducing people only to race, but not erasing race either. Not saying I don't see color, but saying I see you, your story, your history, your humanity, and I still choose love. We move forward when we listen more than we argue, stay curious instead of defensive, call out injustice but refuse to dehumanize people, and build bridges instead of walls. Because at the end of the day, we really are more alike than different. We all laugh, we all get scared, we all love someone, we all grieve, we all feel lonely sometimes, we all cry, we all eat, we all breathe. We live under the same blue sky, stand on the same soil, and eventually, every single one of us leaves this world. One species, one human race, different stories, same humanity. And I know this: division is profitable. Division is convenient. There are systems, narratives, and voices that benefit from keeping us afraid of each other. But we don't have to play that game. We can reprogram ourselves. We can choose to judge people by energy, by integrity, by compassion, by morals, by values, by personality, by intentions, by how they treat those with less power than them. We can hold two truths at once. Racism is very real, unfortunately, and it's very much alive. And unity is still possible. Pain exists, and healing is real too. Different, but still one. And maybe, if we keep doing the inner work, listening, unlearning, staying grounded, refusing hate, one day we really can build a world where people are valued for their soul, their heart, their character, instead of something as temporary as skin. One step at a time, one conversation at a time, one act of compassion at a time. We are different, but we are still one. What actually helps us move forward? Not pretending race does not exist and not reducing people only to race either. Instead, listening to people's lived experiences, calling out injustice where we see it, refusing to generalize entire groups, staying curious instead of defensive, practicing empathy across differences, building relationships in real life, not just ideas online. The truth is, there is something we don't talk about honestly enough. The world is hurting, not because humans are doomed, but because for generations we were taught things about each other that were never true. We inherited fear, we inherited stereotypes, we inherited systems built in times that did not value everyone equally, we inherited false narratives, and none of us asked to be born into that. Some of us inherited wounds, some inherited privilege, some inherited silence, some inherited confusion. But all of us inherited the same responsibility: to do better than the world we were born into. And I want to say this clearly without attacking anybody. We can acknowledge history without drowning in guilt. We can talk about injustice without blaming people who did not create it. We can honor the pain without staying trapped inside of it. Because unity is not pretending nothing happened. Unity is saying, I see the wound, I see the pain, and I choose to walk with you, not against you. For some people, race is a conversation they never had to think about. For others, it's something they've had to think about every single day. Neither side is the enemy. We are all people trying to understand each other. Sometimes clumsily, sometimes defensively, sometimes with tears in our eyes. And that's okay. Growth is messy. Healing is not clean. We don't always say everything perfectly. What matters is that we keep trying. Because the truth is, human beings are so much deeper than categories and labels. This is everybody's first time experiencing this weird journey called life. Under every label, there is a childhood, a memory that still hurts, a dream they're scared to talk about, a fear they hide, a love they lost, a moment they wish they could change. Nobody is just a color. Nobody is just a statistic. Nobody is just their mistakes. Nobody is just their trauma. And nobody heals when they feel attacked, dismissed, or invisible. So here's what I believe. We move forward when we slow down enough to actually see each other. When we say, I may not understand your experience yet, but I am willing to listen. When we learn history not to feel shame, but to gain awareness and compassion and understanding. When we stop assuming the worst about people and start asking better questions. Start putting ourselves in other people's shoes even if we did not grow up with the same experiences. When we hold space for the anger that came from being hurt without letting that anger turn into more hate. We can choose conversations instead of arguments, boundaries instead of bitterness, truth instead of denial, accountability instead of shame, and most importantly, love that is brave enough to tell the truth but gentle enough to hold the person in front of us. Because at the deepest level, we all want the same thing: to be safe, to be loved, to be respected, to belong, to matter. Every culture, every shade, every story. If we can remember that sincerely, we break the cycle. Not by pretending we're all the same in a way that erases reality, but by recognizing that our differences are simply different expressions of the same consciousness, the same humanity, the same breath of life moving through every single one of us. And the more we learn, the more we listen, the more we heal, the less power division has over us. Because that's exactly what they want: to divide and conquer. There are systems put in place by higher ups above all of us that want us to fight against each other, because coming together would destroy every false lie and narrative that they created to keep us divided and separated from each other. I hate any system that keeps us as humans divided. So here's the invitation. Let's not be the generation that repeats the wound. Let's be the generation that transforms it. By paying attention, by staying open, by choosing curiosity over fear, by choosing compassion over ego, by choosing unity, not as a slogan, but as a daily practice. Different histories, different cultures, different journeys, same human family. And step by step, conversation by conversation, heart by heart, we can build something better than what we inherited. Not perfect, but honest, grounded, and finally, truly human. As crazy as it sounds, I just want a planet where we as humans can grow together in unity and not let the hate win, on the simplest of terms. I know that sounds crazy and impossible, and I know we will always have our differences as humans, but I would like every human to at least acknowledge the pain, the trauma, the history, and grow from it together.